Yeah, of course. I think the Honduran squads are sometimes a little bit similar. Motagua is, I think, a very similar team to looking at Olympia from the first year that we've played. A team that can mix it up. They can play a lot of football. They can be direct. They can be physical. So I think that makes them an interesting opponent. And then when you look back to that, we're a much different team than we were 2 years ago as well. But there's certain things that we have to look at on our end that have to be good. And tomorrow night, that starts with the first leg here at Tim Hortons Field. It's a place we haven't lost in this competition, and we want to make sure we keep that track record the exact same once that final whistle goes tomorrow. Yeah, I think not a lot, to be honest. Focus on our principles, focus on what we're doing, and here's another knockout type of game. We've been playing these through Concacaf, Canadian Championship, and then this past weekend with York in the semifinal. It's the details. We stick to the details. I think we've seen our opponent very well over the majority of their season and know where their threats are. But like with every opponent, there's the opportunities on the pitch, and we just focus on that. We'll stick to our match principles. We'll stick to what we do very good, especially here at home. And then, we'll just look at the little tactical nuances that we need to focus on with this opponent. Yeah, guys are much better than the weekend. So, we foresee that we should have everyone available, including guys that weren't on the weekend. So today's training session has gone well. We've gotten most of the guys through the paces, which gives me some decisions to make for tomorrow night.
One question: in what ways has your team evolved through the years after watching the game against Olympia in 2017 and against Marathon in 2020? In what ways do you think your team evolved to face this Motagua in this instance? Thank you.
Yeah, I think the easy thing to say is experience, but that's an easy word to use. I think we understand the intricacies of each opponent better. I think that's what it is. We've made adjustments to our squad in 2021, which I think makes our team a much better team for this competition, also for our domestic league. So I think that's the biggest thing. We come off of the experience of playing these games, playing both Olympia and Marathon gives us a little bit of a guide over the last 2 years, because I think they're both teams that have distinct styles of play. And Motagua is very similar. They're a successful club. You see it on their squad, good rotation, a good amount of players that the coach can trust on, a coach who's been there for years. So they have their way of doing things, and I think that's what makes them an interesting opponent. But for us, I think it keeps on becoming a point of confidence, believing in what we do. Having won now in the last 2 years 2 championships in the Canadian Premier League, now having qualified for Champions League, I think this just gives more motivation to the players, and I think that's what's very important for tomorrow night as well. Yeah, of course, they're a team that in the attack does very well. You see it in their numbers in the Honduran league and the goals they score per game and where their averages are. And you also see that there's a healthy mix of players. Obviously, the one you mentioned there, Lopez, is an important player, moves around a lot on the right side, but has played up top for them as well. And then you just see that different players moving in that front line, Ivan Lopez, Klusner, different players like that. They have a way of getting forward. Obviously, getting good numbers into the box is very important for them as a team, and they use that distinct style to go. But I think they've got a number of weapons in the attack, and they're a team that looks to go forward, and they like to go forward very quick. And I think that's what gives them their success in the attack, both in the league and so far in Concacaf League as well. Yeah, on the first thing on whether they're tired. They can join our club. We've been playing 2 games a week since I believe the beginning of July. If you look at tomorrow night's game, after tomorrow night's game, our next game will be next Wednesday in Honduras. 7 days. That'll be the longest we've had all season between the games. So I think when it comes to these games, I think you put fatigue out the window. I think teams, these are important games. These are knockout games type of an idea. So I think players in both squads find the energy. They find the will to drive through things, and if they're tactically strong, then it always makes for a very good match. Obviously, for them, they've had to now travel in here. Conditions are a little bit different. I believe the weather is much different than in Honduras. But I think you have 2 teams who have been playing a lot of games, but that also comes with the success of the clubs. And I think that's normal, but I think they're an experienced team. They're a team with a lot of depth in their squad, and they're able to handle the schedule. Yeah, to be honest, there's not a lot of weaknesses in the squad when you look at them. They have a lot of success as a team, but yeah, you just look at some different things in them, and hopefully their weakness is they're a little bit tired tomorrow night. They've traveled and it's a little cold for them, and we can take advantage of that here at Tim Hortons Field, where we're very good. I think tomorrow night, to be honest, it's two very good squads, two squads who have an identity of how they play, and they really believe in it. But not a lot of weaknesses in the squad.